Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Warhammer 40,000 with Zebu Nation. And today we're going to start a brand new theme, brand new series within this Warhammer 40,000 series, which is terrain. We're going to take a look at a bunch of different terrain options. And this first terrain option we're going to look at, this is a brand new expansion for Kill Team. Well, I shouldn't say exactly brand new. It's recently released May of 2019. It was released along with the Kill Team Elites upgrade. So it doesn't necessarily go along with that. You don't have to have Elites to use this. You can use this with just about any type of Warhammer 40,000 game you want to play. But it is designed to go with Kill Team. It comes with Kill Team rules and specialties and things like that. So we'll take a look at that in a minute. But basically what it is the Sanctoris section of a hive city, of an imperial hive city. So it's going to be imperial type ruins. I know there's already a lot of those sets out there, but this is just sort of the newest in those sets. And I purchased this because I'm looking to do a urban conquest campaign. And so I wanted to have some terrain that looked a little bit like each part of an imperial city, because in the urban conquest, that's what you do, is you get these little cards that have a different type of city block on them, and each one will correspond to a different type of terrain. It'll be like a Sanctoris, or it'll be a Munitorum, or something like that, or Manufactorum. Something, some imperial type city. So I wanted to have some terrain that represented each type of those. And the one I didn't have was the Sanctoris. So that's sort of like, the priestly sector, the place where they would have their shrines to the emperor and stuff like that. So this is the newest Kill Team box set. We'll flip it over, see what the pictures say that we get. Yeah, that's a pretty good picture. So you can see the board up here with these large statues, and then it is double-sided. So on one side you have the temple, or whatever you want to call it, the church of the emperor, and then on the other side you have just more of a typical city block. You get several different pieces of terrain. You get the two big statues, of course, a few broken down walls, and then some familiar terrain that actually came in the Urban Conquest box, which is just sort of scatter terrain. Broken statues lying on the ground, sewer grates, a couple of things like that. So we'll open this up, take a look at the new rules and the new layouts and all that stuff. So let's see what we can do. It's got a slip cover on it, that's new. Take that off. Okay. It's always the challenge. Can I open it without ripping it? The answer is most likely no. There it is. Okay, got it out. We're ready to take a look. It is a pretty hefty box set. There's quite a lot in here, so we'll have to run through this a little quickly. But yeah, a lot of gray plastic here. Here's the big statues. You can see sort of the bases of the statues right here, the swords, the Imperial Aquila on everything, so that looks pretty nice. Then here's the larger bodies of the statues. So, man. Here's the other side, the front of the statues. You can see there. It's just a lot of plastic going on here. And then here's the walls. Of course, nothing special there. Just the typical Imperial walls that you'd see. There's another sprue and another sprue of all the walls. And finally, a fourth sprue of walls. So you get a lot of plastic in here. And then here's the terrain from the Urban Conquest. So I do have the Urban Conquest, so I've got two sets of these now. And then here's some more of the scatter terrain with the big sewer grate that you can use. So now I've got two of those sewer grates, so I can use them as sort of a teleport system You know, you go into one side of the sewer grate and you can come out the other side. That's always fun. All right, so the big stuff. The real reason to get this is if you're a Kill Team fan, you of course get the new board. I'm always looking for new boards to sort of spice things up. And so this is a good thick board. It's of course folded like 6 times, so that's a little different. Usually the boards come in a slightly bigger box, and so they're not folded quite as tightly as this one, quite as many times. So that's interesting. It'll have a different folding pattern than the boards I'm used to, but it should still come out to the same size. Kill Team board is 22 by 30, I think, is a Kill Team board. So hopefully that comes out to that size or approximation of that size. And then here we go. We got the rules and such. Let's open that up. All right, so new cards, first of all. I wasn't really expecting new cards, but I guess we usually do get new cards with each Kill Team terrain. I guess I just kind of forgot about that. So I don't think, in Urban Conquest, I don't think the terrain necessarily has rules, but it looks like the terrain has rules in this box set, so that's interesting. Like all the statues in the sewers and everything get special rules. So burst from the sewer. Choose a model from your Kill Team that was set up in reserve and set them within 1 inch of the sewer grate, as long as they're more than 5 inches away from any enemy model. So that's cool, you know, because normally if you wanted to do that, you'd have to spend a command point. But with this, all you have to do is have a sewer grate set up somewhere and you can do that. So that's cool. Another sewer tactic. Let's see. If a model from your Kill Team fails a nerve test within 1 inch of a sewer grate, or begins your turn in the movement phase within 1 inch of a sewer grate, you can choose them to hide. If you do, remove that model from the battlefield. They are considered to have been taken out of action. But if you are playing a campaign game, you do not have to make a casualty roll for them after the battle. So your guy gets wounded, he gets taken out of action, you can just have him crawl into the sewer and say he just sort of ran away rather than got, you know, horrifically wounded. So that's interesting. Another sewer tactic, yeah. Improvised shelter. They're within a ½ inch of a service hatch, so it's not quite the sewer grate. It's more the service hatch that's on top of a piece of terrain, it looks like. Or maybe it's on the board somewhere. If they're not shaken until the end of the phase, they are considered to be obscured to the attacking model within 1 inch of a piece of terrain that is between them and the attacking model. So basically you can just hide in the service hatch and get some cover. That's cool. Let's see. Under the Gaze of Heroes. Using this tactic at the beginning of the morale phase until the end of the phase, subtract 1 from nerve tests taken for any Imperial model within 3 inches of any Imperial statue. So that's what these big boys are for. They give you bonuses to your nerve tests. Interesting. So all there's a bunch of these. I don't know that I want to read them all. You can salvage relics, impaled on spikes, I assume. Trapped in the rubble, loose rubble, visions of victory. So a bunch of different new cards. New command point abilities here. Hijack Proclamation. Use this tactic in the morale phase before your opponents take any nerve tests. If there's a comm specialist from your kill team who is not shaken and who's within 1 inch of a piece of terrain, till the end of the phase, your opponents must add 1 to nerve tests for models on their kill teams. So basically, you're like your comm specialist is sending out propaganda telling them to surrender, I guess. That's interesting. And that costs 2 command points? 2, yep. Or 1 command point, Strategic Demolition. Choose a demolition specialist from your team. In the shooting phase, they can target terrain features as if they were enemy models. Interesting. Terrain features will have a toughness characteristic of 5 and no save, and ignore hit roll modifiers. For each wound they cause to a terrain feature, roll d6 for each model within 1 inch of that terrain feature. On a roll of 6, that model suffers a mortal wound. So that's interesting. Like the terrain is all crumbling and stuff, so you can just knock it down on top of people. Crazy. Crazy. All right. So you get, of course, your build guide, your little informational booklet. Gives you an idea of what the Sector Sanctoris is all about. Ruins of Glory. Pictures, art, all that stuff. Fun magazine. And then you get your build guide, of course. Shows you how to build everything. How to build the statues, etc. And finally, we get the KILLZONE missions. Look at this. It's like 4 missions and a KILLZONE card that gives you different type of environmental statuses that might happen during the course of a game while you're in this sector. So let's see, you can get the Deafening Proclamation, subtract 1 from hit rolls while they're within 6 inches of the Imperial statue. Interesting. Consecrated Area. Roll a d6 whenever Imperial model is standing on the shrine floor and loses a wound. On a roll of 6, that model does not lose a wound. Interesting. So if you have some Imperial models defending the shrine of the Emperor, they can get these special abilities. That's crazy. Desecrated Shrine, subtract 1 from the leadership characteristic of Imperial models while they're standing on the shrine floor. That's interesting. So sometimes I listen to the Floorhammer podcast, and they did a mission that was pretty similar to this. It was one they just made up. It was like part of their narrative campaign where a bunch of orcs desecrated an Imperial temple, and if they had done that mission as a kill team, they could have used these special rules. That's kind of interesting. Anyway, Encroaching Battle. At the beginning of the battle, roll a d6 for each model that's within 3 inches of the edge of the battlefield. On a 1 or more, that model suffers a mortal wound. Crazy. Or Recovered Relic. In a campaign, player who wins the mission gains 1 material, otherwise no additional rules. So that's a special rule just for Urban Conquest. That's interesting. Or if you're playing, I guess, some other campaign that uses the same rules as Urban Conquest, but that's interesting that they would include an Urban Conquest rule. Then you got your 4 missions here. Take the High Ground. Let's see. Players who have the most models wholly within the shrine floor at the end of the battle wins. Okay, so you're just trying to get to the center of the shrine and hold the shrine. Find the relic. Oh, this is always a fun one. I've seen this mission before where there's a relic somewhere on the board. You have to grab it and you have to carry it kind of like a football and get it off your edge of the table. Hall of Statues. At the end of the battle, the attacker scores 1 victory point for each enemy model that is out of action. Defender scores a victory point for each model not out of action, or 2 victory points if that model escaped. Narrative play. So it looks like you're trying to get your kill team off the battlefield. Okay. And then defend the shrine. So there's different objective markers on this one. There's a relic, there's a reliquary, victory conditions. At the end of battle, the objective marker and the Imperial statue are on the battlefield. The defender wins. If neither of the objective markers nor the Imperial statue are on the battlefield, the attacker wins. Any other result is a draw. Fun. So we got some fun new missions, new terrain, new cards. This will definitely go well with my Urban Conquest campaign that I'm looking at doing. So yeah, I'm happy with this purchase. It was, I'll be honest with you, it was a little expensive because I pre-ordered it from the Games Workshop website. And that's not really what I would recommend you should do. I think when it comes to these type of terrain from Games Workshop, I think the best way is to actually just wait a little bit, wait a month or so, wait for it to come on Amazon. Because what you'll have then is you'll have retailers within the US who've gotten their distribution from Games Workshop, and they're just selling them online through Amazon. And you'll get them, so from Games Workshop directly, this box set was $80. But on Amazon, you'll usually get them for $68 plus Amazon Prime free shipping. Now you get free shipping from Games Workshop, but you know, that's a significant discount. I wanted this one early because I wanted to go with my Elites order, you know, just to get the free shipping on that basically. But it wasn't really worth the price, so I think if you're going to buy it at this time, get it from Amazon, get it for the lower price, and it'll be worth it at that price, I think. So there we go. Sector Sanctoris Killzone. These Killzones do sell out, and you know, then Games Workshop decides if they're going to reprint them or not. They don't always reprint all of them. So, you know, if you're going to get it early, but not too early. That's my recommendation. So that's it for this video. Till next time, we'll look at some more terrain next time and some non-Games Workshop stuff so we can sort of see the difference. And yeah, that'll be next time. So until then, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.